Hello， 大家好，欢迎回到外媒看中国，我是安博然。The United States is currently freaking out over the appearance of a Chinese weather balloon that showed up yesterday over the state of Montana. China has admitted it's a rogue weather balloon, but Blinken has already cancelled his visit to Beijing, and angry Americans are demanding it be shot down. This is Reports on China. I am Andy Boreham. Let's get reporting. Both sides of the US's military-industrial complex-sponsored mainstream media are currently melting down over the appearance of a high-altitude weather balloon that Beijing has admitted comes from China. Despite the US being a country that loves to drop bombs from drones flying over the sovereign territory of other nations,
America's spy balloons can carry suicide drones and deploy them to take out targets on the ground like a floating hive with killer bees.
Literally encircle China with hundreds of military bases and fly an entire Nancy Pelosi into Chinese territory despite protracted pleas from Beijing not to do so. It's quite hilarious watching how upset they are over a weather balloon. Let's take a look at some of the hysterics.
Fox News alert. It is day 2 of Balloon Watch. The Chinese spy blimp's about to hit Illinois and is creeping towards the East Coast. So the commie spy balloon penetrated our airspace. If citizens hadn't spotted this thing yesterday, the government would have covered it up. It's almost like China has Biden by the balloons.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I haven't been very specific because that information is classified and I'm just not going to be able to talk about it.
That balloon should have been blown sky high the minute that it crossed U.S. airspace, and every single second that it hangs there is another reminder of just how owned our politicians, our system, our businesses are by the Chinese Communist Party.
As you know, officials tell CNN the U.S. has not ruled out shooting down this spy balloon once it is deemed safe to do so. Does the U.S. need to bring this balloon down?
I think the United States has to take control of this balloon. There are two things that are of great concern here. One is that it's been determined to be a surveillance balloon, which means that it's gathering intelligence. That's the purpose of surveillance.
It was interesting to note there that the former CIA director and US Defense Secretary Leon Panetta tried his best to refer to the balloon as a surveillance balloon instead of a spy balloon, which is what everyone else is calling it. He's correct in doing so. The balloon is a weather surveillance balloon, collecting data on weather systems and so on. But he's also playing semantics there because for ordinary viewers, the term surveillance, while accurate, is synonymous with spying and nefarious activities. He knows that, and this is exactly the kind of word game the military-industrial complex like to use when they're trying not to be blatant warmongers. Of course, China is being adult and responsible over this debacle, expressing regret and vowing to work closely with the US to navigate the two sides out of this situation. Territorial integrity is a huge issue for China, so you can be sure that Beijing is not happy where the balloon has ended up, to say the least. Global Times reports, a spokesperson from the Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Friday that the balloon was an airship from China, but rejected the spy claim, saying that the civilian airship, used mainly for meteorological research purposes, deviated from its planned course after being affected by westerlies and due to its limited self-steering capability. The Chinese side regrets the unintended entry of the airship into US airspace due to force majeure and will continue communicating with the US side and properly handle this unexpected situation caused by force majeure. But that hasn't stopped many on the US side from overreacting, playing up the fake spy angle and using this regrettable but fairly harmless situation to stoke fears and push for war. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who was meant to be on his way to Beijing right now for high-level meetings, postponed his trip for now, mainly to pacify his domestic audience, who are currently like piranhas circling for blood. Here's what he had to say.
We took the step that I announced earlier today in postponing the planned visit for this weekend. Meanwhile, we are going to remain engaged with the PRC as this ongoing issue is resolved.
I don't personally think much is lost from Blinken not coming to China this time around. And you guys certainly don't think his trip would have achieved anything. In the latest Reports on China YouTube poll, a whopping 91% of you said his planned trip was just a waste of time. President Joe Biden is facing a lot of pressure to do something about the balloon, which continues to drift hilariously across the continental USA.
If Biden pops the Chinese balloon, it'll do more to unite the country than any of his stupid policies. Everybody wants that thing lit up. Give us a moment of unity, Joe. We're begging you. Look alive.
Mr. President, when and how will you remove the balloon? When and how will you remove the balloon, Mr. President?
Are you worried about the balloon?
The problem is, these types of weather balloons float at least 80,000 feet or 15 miles up, which is much higher than commercial aircraft and military aircraft are capable of flying. That means that even if the US side wanted to shoot it down, which is what most people are calling for, they wouldn't be able to do so. So for now, we can just sit back and watch as this giant balloon slowly and gracefully trolls its way across the USA, giving them an unexpected and unplanned taste of what it's like to have their territorial integrity molested by an outside force. Anyway, you guys, that's it for today. As usual, I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know down below, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.